Right now by foreign policy analyst Bolu Michael-Biyi. Bolu, thank you for joining us this evening. Let's start by asking what the potential risks of political leaders publicly speculating on the causes of the accident before a full investigation is completed might mean. I mean, Trump's remarks impacted the credibility of the National Transportation Safety Board and its investigations process. So what do you think about his remarks?
Well, I think it's common sense for a public officer not to speak on an issue comprehensively if it's under investigation, because that itself will put them under public scrutiny as well as scrutiny of agencies. You know, if who asserts must prove, that's what the law says. So a person cannot just come out and start speaking. They have to have the backing. They have something to back it. So if politicians are beginning to speak about an issue that is under investigation, it might mislead the public, and that might undermine the public confidence in the official investigation reports when it comes out. It also puts pressure on the investigators to align with the position of the politicians in some way, and it's quite distracting as well because it now takes away the focus from the actual cause of the mishap. And also, I believe it will have an emotional impact on the families of those involved, because imagine, you know, politicians and everyone talking about their loved ones when they're supposed to be sensitive to their plight. It could be quite distressing for such families if they find out that, okay, that there's a lot of conversation that are not based on facts going on. So as regards the president's remarks, I believe he's speaking from a place of the report has been given from the preliminary investigation. He was not there when the crash happened, so he must have spoken out of what he must have been briefed as commander-in-chief. So it depends on how we want to see it. Some might see it as interference in the investigation, and other people might see it as being transparent, you know, as a precedent. So it all depends on different perspectives.
I hear you what you say there on transparency, but regarding his implication of he blamed the diversity and inclusion policy championed by the Democratic predecessors. What do you think the implication is here?
Oh, well, I think that's his own personal opinion. He's never really been a fan of DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. He believes that everything should be based on competence, that if the best pilots are all male, all well and good. If they're all female, all well and good. But in the previous administration, they tried to balance things in a way that does not put competence at the forefront of things. They would rather want a male pilot. What they'll be looking at is having a male pilot sitting down beside a female pilot, as against two male pilots or two female pilots that are competent. So I think it's just using that situation to buttress to ridicule the previous administration. Like, you see what happened now when you guys are talking about DEI, now we have a crash. What is important is having competent pilots. I think it's just to rub it on the face of the previous administration. I don't think DEI has a strong link to such mishap. It could happen even with the best pilots. It could be as a result of bad weather. It could be as a result of engine failing. I don't think DEI is the reason why that crash happened.
Well, thank you, Bolu. Bolu, should the U.S. military consider revising its protocols for low-altitude helicopter flights over populated areas like the Potomac River?
Well, it's a yes and no thing, because let's look at where they operate. The government area, the president is there, a lot of businesses are there, a lot of foreigners, international diplomats from different countries. Every country is represented in Washington, D.C. You know, the security there has to be tight, and it's inevitable for military helicopters to fly on low altitude. They are meant to fly on low altitude. They have to be close to the ground because it's required for training. They have to be there. They have to do that for missions as well. So they may not need to revise their protocol if the current protocol suffices. It's sufficient enough, because the cause of the mishap may be as improper enforcement of the rules. So what they will just need to do is to ensure that the rules are better enforced. It all depends on the outcome of the investigation, whether they'll have to revise their protocol or not. But to give them an opportunity for them to revise it and see, to improve, to see the safety risk in terms of possible collision, and see how they can improve the coordination between the air traffic control of the military as well as the civilian, and see if they need a technological upgrade of their radar system.
So, Bolu, do you think that this crash will impact regulation or future oversight of military aviation within the context of civilian airspace?
Yeah, I think so, because now they would have to improve their communication between the two control towers. I think they've been flying all the while without taking cognizance to the fact that they might be the military helicopter will be flying. So what would happen now going forward is that before a civilian flight takes off, they will ask the military, I hope you guys are not flying anytime soon, because British Airways is about to take off, so wait 30 minutes. And it's going to go both ways. I think they're going to foster collaboration and better coordination between the two air traffic departments. It's going to enhance their communication. It might be required to have additional training, especially those in the control tower and those on the ground as well. They would they might want to, this event will be a case study for future training, and they might want to improve their technological upgrade as well, and we might see policy makers discussing around having a common safety framework between the military traffic control and also the civilian traffic control as well.
Well, Bolu, Michael-Biyi, thank you very much for giving us your evening to discuss.